Around 30 members of NCRP came to Moglievka church to see the trial of Dixie. Azamat would be presiding as judge.
Ladies and gentlemen of Moglievka, I welcome you to the courtroom, the trial of Peanut. On my left is the fire exit. The other fire exit is blocked, so if there's a fire, you're all going to die. I would also like to say that those 3 dead hookers behind Tools and Horses were only dead when I found them, and I will say no more about that. First, I would like the prosecution to step forward and state their case for domination.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. I am here on behalf of the Inquisition and the people of Moglievka because we have once again witnessed a tragedy on our streets, another senseless killing, and it is up to us here today to determine whether the accused is guilty of this murder. I want to start by saying that I applaud the accused for stepping forward to receive judgment, but we need to face the hard truth that there's been another senseless killing, and this person was at the scene of the crime. Now, I have a witness that I'd like to call forward, and I'd like to ask him a few questions. Craig, if you could step forward, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about the incident that took place.
Okay.
Craig, can you confirm that you were there the night in question?
Yes, I was.
And can you confirm that you saw the incident in question?
Hey, just.
Yes, I did.
Objection, Your Honor. Vague. What incident?
The incident being the shooting and the murder victim. Now, firstly, I'd ask you to take a look at the gentleman standing to my side here. I'll repeat the question. Could you confirm that the gentleman standing to my side, in fact, there that night?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And can you tell us in your own words what happened in that incident, please?
I arrived back to only Tools and Resources after a hunt, and when I arrived back, Ghille and Dixie were having a heated conversation. Basically, Ghille told Dixie not to talk shit next time, and Dixie said, "Next time I'll blow your head off." Ghille then quoted, "Try me," before trying to exit the store, and Dixie took him a boomtown.
So can I just ask you just to clarify that then? So Ghille was in fact leaving the store at the time that he was shot?
Yes.
And can you tell me, did Ghille have a weapon drawn?
No, not that I've seen.
And which direction was he facing?
Towards the door.
No further questions at this time.
Defense, step forward, please.
Okay, Craig. Can you answer me this question? When the two individuals who were in question were engaging in conversation, could it be said that the plaintiff actually was the one who was a little bit more aggressive? When you really look at the video footage, who was the one that approached or engaged the other or stepped forward? Was that Dixie or was that Mr. Ghille?
I'd probably say Ghille.
Ah, okay. Because if I recall, there was a barrier between the two subjects, and it was Ghille who opened the door. If I recall, there's a murder charge at stake here, if I'm at the same courtroom everyone else is. In that case, to charge a man with murder, there has to be a reasonable suspicion of harm. I could argue that Mr. Dixie was feared for his life. When Ghille replied with "try me," it could be said that that was indicative of impending harm, and had a reasonable suspicion of such. Therefore, I would say it was Mr. Ghille who actually incited the whole instance. Mr. Craig, how long have you known Ghille?
Not long. I only met him that night.
I see. No further questions.
Could the defendants please take the stand in the courtroom now? Dixie, come here, please. Thank you. Prosecution, you may start your examination.
Dixie, thank you very much. First of all, I would like you to describe in your own words the events that took place that night, please.
I traveled over to Mog from down in Cherno, just kind of see how things were going over there, and ran across a guy that had killed two of my friends the previous night, pretending to be a mute, and so I was talking about it, and we started disagreeing on how things went that night, and so I said, "Fuck it, you know what, son? I'll leave it alone." And
no language in the
I'll
courtroom,
just leave it
please.
be. So I said, "We'll leave it," and it happened last night. I'll be done with it. And he decided to pursue it. So next time, don't talk. And so I said, "All right, dude. Next time I won't talk. You know, if you're just gonna try and pursue it and try and be petty about it. You know, I wasn't there the other night. I heard how my friends died, and I wasn't exactly pleased about the way it happened. So, I knew that ultimately I didn't have the full story, I know that, and I know obviously he's only going to give away things that would help his case. So, that at that point I needed to agree to disagree. So I said, all right, I'll be done with it, leave it. Happened last night, it's over. And he told me not to talk again. And I'll shoot you. I'll let my gun talk. And so he tried one sly comment while he was walking away. And I'm not gonna lie to you, he had a much bigger gun on his than I do. So yeah, I wasn't exactly sure about my odds of survival in this case. So I'm not blind to the idea that I jumped the gun. I understand that maybe I was a little bit more aggressive than I needed to be, but in that moment I was pretty sure I was going to die, so I pulled the trigger.
Thank you. Just want to stop you there just for a couple of minutes, just to clarify a couple of points. So I appreciate what you've just told us there. I just want to clarify what you actually said. I believe the term, we have this on a statement, "Next time I will blow your brains out." Can you confirm that's indeed what you said?
Off. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. And regarding the incident that took place where you lost two of your friends, is it safe to say that you were angry at this gentleman for the loss of your friends?
Yes, absolutely, because it's not uncommon in his nature. Hence why we have two dead Ronins. And him turning himself in.
So could it arguably be said that you were seeking vengeance?
I was defending this town from a menace, as I've done. Your sheriff asked me to town the night before. This man's killed again. It's not I who should be on trial here. I did a public service.
But, forgive me, you said that you were asked to defend the town the previous night, so what you're saying is that you weren't actually acting under order that night?
No. I was,
Just to clarify,
I wasn't actually, I wasn't here the night before because I was busy with some home-based stuff down south. And, so I wasn't here to defend the town like the sheriff asked me to. And, yeah, in my absence, two of my friends were murdered. So I was pretty angry. Yeah.
So, in respect to the incident, I just want to clarify a couple of facts here. The gentleman, the victim, we'll call him, was walking away. So he had his back to you, correct?
I'd say I was looking for a side booed, but sure.
And was his weapon drawn?
Nope.
So can I ask, direct question here, how much of a threat did you feel this man was to you with his back to you and no weapon drawn?
Your Honor, if I may. Alright. Let me ask you then. Try me. What's your next move?
Sorry, I
Guarantee
don't
you
follow.
just reached for your holster, didn't you? I bet half of you did. Every one of y'all running security just reached for your holster when I said that. I don't think I need to say anymore.
Well, I would argue that this gentleman was not the threat that you have insisted that he was, and that in this instance you have shot a man in the back of the head as he tried to walk away from a confrontation. Now, I don't know what the Moglievka ruling is on what is considered murder or unlawful killing, but I want that to be on the record, that this man had his back to you and he had his weapon holstered. And at this stage I have no further questions. Thank you very much.
Would the defense have anything they would like to add before the jury go to deliberate proceedings? Defense counsel, step forward, please.
Good evening, Dixie. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well.
I'd like to ask you a few questions a little bit more fairly this time around.
Sounds good.
That we had talked a little bit about how you spoke to the plaintiff prior to the issue in question. You said, next time I'll shoot you, it's over. Next time I'll shoot you, I'll let my gun talk. I would argue, and I would ask you, could it be stated that you were perhaps being a little metaphorical when you said you would shoot him, that you were just angry enough that you felt like you could shoot him? You know, we all from time to time say we're just mad enough we want to kill someone. But do we go through it? Do we actually carry through and end a man's life? No. So, when you said such statement, did you have an intention to kill?
Not at that point, no. Not until he said try me. I took it as a threat. Like I said, he had a much bigger gun on his back.
And why do you think he opened the doors of the store?
I feel like it was going to be an outside thing. He was going to go outside, pull his weapon, and that was going to be the duel. That's what I assumed the timing was.
If he had
Wanted
wanted
to
to
fight.
speak with you and just settle it through conversation, could he have not done so from the confines and safe space of his concrete walls?
Yeah. I mean, I told him it was done. I told him it was over. You know, I said I was ready to let it go. He wanted to pursue it. That's when he said, try me.
So it seems as
Just kinda
though
built
him
it up.
opening the door was an invitation to aggression, which, again, aroused suspicion from my client.
Objection, Your Honor. I believe the defense attorney is leading this witness with his questions.
Sustained.
At this point, I have no more questions for my client.
Dixie, would you like to address the courtroom before the jury goes to discuss the findings and decide the fate of this case?
Known most of you for quite a while, and know most of you quite well. I'd hope that you'd choose right on this, and you can see that I was simply acting on your behalf and doing what's right for Moglievka. I've done nothing more than what I felt was in your best interest, and I hope that I've explained that thoroughly today.
Okay, cool. Give me the let me know when you're running again. Prosecution, could you give your final deliberation on this case, please?
Thank you, Your Honour, certainly.
Should I step down?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury and people of Moglievka, what we've witnessed here is another tragic death on your streets. And while we might question the motives of the defendant, while we might ask whether he was right to have done what he did, we need to face the fact that this is a continuing epidemic that we're facing, whereby people are taking it upon themselves to bestow vigilante justice. Now, if we don't curb this, if you don't curb this, then you will find that this is going to get out of control very quickly. And you need to ask yourselves, whose responsibility is it to put a stop to this? I believe, you need to ask yourself the question, that it is your job here today to make the right decision, to send a clear message that you cannot take it upon yourself to shoot a person in cold blood, in the back of the head, under any circumstances. And if you don't do that here today, you are opening the doors to chaos. And that is my closing statement. Thank you very much.
Ustad, would you like to address the jury one last time before they deliberate on behalf of your client?
Of course. I still feel like we're getting a little bit away from the main issue today, and that is, at the end of the day, the character of these two men. When you look at a man named, just listen to his name, Dixie. You really feel invited. I've always felt really good around him. He's been a close friend of mine. And I know that's not part of our case here today, but I still wanted to say that you look at him, look at all of his dealing. I mean, this is a guy who formerly had family involved in a popular radio show in Chernihiv, servant of the people. He's been welcoming of all the travelers in Moglievka, which directly contradicts with today's case. Even in his distant past was, a nice guide for young survivors at the Old North Trader. He's really put in the work, and I think all of you at the end of the day know who he is and what he's all about. You look at Ghille, you're talking about someone who was formerly involved in human trafficking, not only federal but international crimes. Been associated with a history of oppression in Brenna, and also was recently spotted in Moglievka brandishing a firearm. Contradiction of our municipal policies. So when you really look at it, and when you really go with your heart, ask yourself, is this a man you think would murder innocent civilians? If you can go home and sleep at night knowing that, you put him away. More power to you, but I couldn't do it. That's all, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we've heard all the evidence. It is up to you to make the decisions and deliberate. Leave the courtroom now. Come back with your findings. I will pass the sentence.
The evidence had been put forward by Timberwolf acting for the prosecution and Rashad acting as defence counsel. The jury would now go and deliberate. The jury was made up of 3 members, Zach from the Moglievka community, Mac from the Misfits, and Sanjeev from WTM. If found guilty, it would be up to Judge Azamat to decide on Dixie's punishment.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you agreed on a verdict?
After hearing what both the defense and prosecution have had to say, we have come to a conclusion, my friend, yes.
spokesman for the jury, Sanjeev.
We have found the defendant guilty of all charges.
Dixie, could you look at me, please? Dixie, you've been found guilty of murder. Throughout your testimony, Dixie, I would just like to say that I think you're a very nice human being. I admired your honesty. I know you're doing what was right. Unfortunately, a man has died. However, there will be no death penalty. But they will be sentenced to trial by chance. In a few moments, my assistants will lay out 4 shotguns in front of you. 3 of those will be loaded with rubber slugs, and 1 will be loaded with shells live for termination.
Oh shit.
You will select 1 shotgun. You cannot self-terminate, so I will administer the sentence. Sorry, Dixie. This is how it's gonna be. I see now why you cry.
This is cruel and unusual.
Oh God.
Sit down. Dixie, the people have spoken. Jury of your peers, there's no fate but what you make for yourself. Please select a shotgun. Take it to your hands. Step back, please. We will then remove the other 3 shotguns, and you will place the selected shotgun at your feet. I will apply Judgment Day.
Wink.
Dixie, you have testicles like my biceps. I salute you. On 3.
I love you, Dixie.
1, 2, it's double time.
1 love.
Where the doors are moaning all day long, where the stairs are leading from doors to doors, where the windows are breathing.
Medical attention. Somebody get an ambulance.
Where the rooms are a collection.
It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
Give this man a turbo, man.
This is a place.
Dixie had passed the trial of chance. He was hit with a rubber slug and was only knocked out, so he was allowed to walk free and return to the Chuckleheads.
That I call my home.
Fucking servant to the public, that's the one.
Model citizen.
Hooray! Hooray, bloody!
Get that done.
We made it out.
You're all awesome.
Thank
you.
Justice was served in Moglievka. This is an example that you don't have to kill everyone to administer justice. He was subject to a fair trial and will now walk free, and will think twice in the future when he returns to his family.